Hi, and welcome to my version of a lesson given by Jack Nicklaus in 1980 in Golf Digest. I continuously suggest that trying to take a complex subject and make it simple doesn't make it simple just because we want to. His tip in 1980 was he was suggesting to learn to flight the ball right to left or left to right, pick one shot, make it your major. I couldn't agree with him more. He's totally correct. Absolutely. Those of us, or those of you, including myself at one time, kind of thought it would be really cool. I can make the ball go both ways. I would suggest to you that it is much better to get great at making the golf ball go one way than it is to get mediocre at making it go both. In the time frame that you probably have in a day, it is unlikely that you have time to get very good at both ways, so you put your time and you make it effective. Okay, so next. In the time frame that I have today, it's almost like I need to let you know if you're going in the right path or the wrong path, so that if you're going down the wrong path, stop. Let's get back to what correct is. Here's how you know that. If you perceive that making a ball draw or making it fade is done by a manipulation of the club face, you are incorrect. It has nothing to do with you trying to swing the club shaft down a line and then suddenly shut the face and the ball will curve. Or the opposite, swing the club shaft down a line and then opening the face and the ball will curve. I think a lot of people still think that. Now think about it. 100 miles an hour you're coming in at the golf ball. And as soon as you touch it, you have the presence of mind or the quickness of speed to just shut the face on command, same amount every time. See, I know when I was young, that's how I thought it was done, and I can tell you exactly. I went to George Knudson. And for you that don't know George Knudson, go on Google and Google George Knudson plus golf. He was the first guy that really ever told me that he did it with his alignments. Wow, that was a big revelation to me back then. Because like most people, I thought you swung and you want the ball to go right to left, you did this. You wanted to go left to right, you did that. And I was so wrong. Here's what you need to know. No tips in my interpretation are any good unless you have some common denominators already in place. If you are on top of the golf ball and you know how to pivot and move correctly, beautiful. If you know what to do with your arms and how your arms swing on playing left and up, beautiful. If your hands are educated and you can work them correctly, beautiful. But if you're going to try to stay behind the golf ball, if you're trying to swing inside out, if you're trying to roll your hands over, back up. Incorrect information. Almost correct, but not quite correct. Now again, if you are improving and you are getting better, then don't listen to anything I say. But if something catches your attention, I did in 1998. I did the Golf Channel, and I was probably the first guy that ever talked about keeping the right wrist bent through the golf ball. I got 1,800 emails. I had one guy tell me I was nuts. I had about 1,799 that said, "Mark, I don't know what the hell you said, but it made a lot of sense to me. I want to hear more." And I'm saying, good for you. Don't poo-poo it. I'm not standing here telling you things that are wrong. If you're not sure what I'm saying, do a little bit more research. If you think you draw a golf ball by whipping the club face over, if you think you fade a golf ball by keeping it open, incorrect understanding. Here's what I'm trying to do. Let's say I'm trying to hit a fade. I tell everybody in my world that I teach that I play every single shot from a squared stance. A squared stance is with my thighs, my hips, and my shoulders are all in a straight line to themselves. This is just a bad stance. This is just a bad stance. If you do this, that's a squared stance turned to the left. That allows my shaft to swing from outside the target line to inside the target line. That's half the equation. I've got half the equation correct. As I do that, however, I must not allow the face to roll over. I'm just going to pull it to the left if I do that. I have to monitor with my hands that as my shaft is going from outside the target line to inside the target line, that I do not let the blade roll over. I'm on top of the ball, on plane, don't let the face roll over. Ball starts off left and comes back to the right. To hit the draw, I start with a squared stance and I will turn it to the left. This allows the club to come from the inside of the target line, out to the ball, now listen to this one, then back inside on plane. You will never hear me saying in a good light that I have an inside-out swing path. I have an inside towards out impact, then left. Now this time I've got all the ingredients correct, but now I have to allow the toe to roll. Now please recognize, I did not say roll over. That's rolling over. That is rolling. There's a big, big, big difference. How much accuracy do you want to get? So I really draw the ball and fade the ball with my alignments. I'm always on top of it, I'm always on plane, and I always monitor what my hands are doing. You get those three things put together and you got it. Now what Jack Nicklaus said, and I'm going to go deeper than you probably ever heard this said before, is you want to get really good at one shot. Highly unlikely you can get really good at both. Here's what the golf world does not yet appreciate or understand. When I'm practicing, if I know it or not, I'm creating a balanced condition that I'm used to. I'm creating a balanced condition that I get used to. If I'm used to hitting fades, my balance on my foot will go to my left heel over my foot line, and I get used to it. If I'm hitting draws, my weight pressure will go to the outside of my left foot closer to my toes, and I get used to it. Big, big deal. It will be the first or the second next biggest thing coming down the road in the learning and the instruction of golf. I want you to remember you heard it here first, and I'm certainly in future going to go more into depth with it. So that's how I'm hitting a draw. So if I can, in the time frame given today, it was a lesson, I believe, but if you disagree with that's how you hit a draw or a fade, you need to start doing some research, because I hate you wasting your time thinking you do it just by rolling your hands over or under rolling your hands. It's not how we do it. I hope you enjoy. Keep watching. Lots more to come.